Hey, Guoba here. Sorry. Hey, Gepard here with a guide on Gepard, Serval's little bro. He's the ultimate defensive option and the only character to go from B tier to S tier. His shields are immense, his uptime is great if you build him right, and he enables some DPS like none other. We'll be going through his stats, abilities, traces and Eidolons, and then his pros and cons. Then we'll discuss his best relics, which you'll probably want to watch, as well as his light cones, and finish with his optimal rotations and team compositions. If you like these guides and want more, like and maybe consider subscribing, as I'm doing in-depth guides on every unit in the game. And the Yukong video that was supposed to be today is instead tomorrow because HoYoLab hasn't released her info yet. Anyway, let's begin. So Gepard is a 5-star ice character and part of the standard 5-star units in the game. He follows the preservation path, which is the path dedicated to shielding and protecting your allies. At level 80, he has a very high base HP of 1397, a base attack of 543 and a high base defense of 654. His speed however is a low 92, but his energy cost is also low, only at 100. As a preservation unit, his taunt value is the highest in the game at 150, which equals to a 35% chance of being hit. That's before any aggro modifiers. So this makes him the unit with the highest base HP in the game, and why not also the highest base defense in the game? He is one chunky boy. His stack is one of the lowest in the game, but who really cares? And unfortunately his speed is the second slowest in the game, just above a small girl who doesn't even wear shoes. At 100 energy cost, he has one of the lowest energy costs in the game, which is perfect for his OP ultimate. So he's tanky and great, just a little bit slow. Now move on to his abilities. So his basic attack is Fist of Conviction. It is a normal basic attack, so it will deal standard ice damage to a single enemy. This will do 30 toughness damage, regenerate 20 energy for Gepard, and 1 skill point for the team. His skill is Daunting Smite. It will do a large amount of ice damage to a single enemy with a 65 base chance to freeze the enemy for 1 turn. When frozen, the enemy will take pursued damage at the start of their turn. At 65% base chance, you'll need 157% effect hit rate to land this freeze guaranteed, and bosses with control resistance or freeze resistance will make it worse. So we won't be using this skill much, and even with E1 we won't anyway. This will do 60 toughness damage, regenerate 30 energy for Gepard, and consume 1 skill point. His ultimate is Enduring Bulwark, and is the part we use him for. At an energy cost of 100, he will apply a shield to all allies, with the shield scaling on a very large percentage of his defense, alongside a big flat shield bonus. This shield will be applied for 3 turns, so you have 3 turns to get it back up before your team starts taking big damage again. At a well-built Gepard, we are looking at a shield of around 3000 in strength. Next up is his talent, Unyielding Will. When struck with a killing blow, instead of being knocked down, Gepard will continue fighting by restoring a percentage of his max HP. 50% at level 10. This effect can only trigger once per battle, but it's useful for any annoying situations with shield downtime. He can tank for your whole team and get back up just fine. It will also remove any debuffs he currently has, so that's useful versus strong debuffing enemies. Since he won't count as being knocked down, this also means your memory of chaos stars are safe. Finally, his technique is Camaraderie. It is a buffing technique, so you can stack it and use an attacking technique afterwards. When the next battle begins, a shield will be applied to all allies equal to 24% of his defense, plus a flat 150 for 2 turns. With good Gepard stats, this shield will be about 1300 in strength and is great for surviving first hits before you start your rotations and shield uptime. Let's now move on to his bonus traces. Integrity is his first ascension passive and his most important one. It will give him a higher chance to be attacked by enemies. So this higher chance is a 300% aggro modifier to Gepard, making his 35% chance of being hit now a 68% chance, which is very strong. His second ascension passive is Commander, and when his talent is activated, his energy will be restored to full. It's a neat little bonus for those instances you do get chunked down, so you can bring your whole team a big shield and not go down without a fight. His final ascension is Fighting Spirit and will grant him a 35% attack buff depending on his current defense. It will refresh at the start of every turn, meaning any defense buffs or decreases will modify this value. This is at least a 1000 attack increase at a good investment, meaning your basics and any eventual skills will actually do some decent damage for a preservation unit. His bonuses are in ice damage percent, which is whatever, and in defense percent, which is incredible because of his already high base defense. His final one is in effect resistance, 18% at max, which is nothing versus bosses if they have a 100% debuff chance at max level, but it's nice for when you want to start stacking effect resistance in substats. Now let's look at his Eidolons. His first is Due Diligence, and will grant his skill an extra 35% base chance of landing a freeze, bumping it up to a 100% base chance, and reducing the effect hit rate needed to guarantee a freeze to 67%. This Eidolon is a really nice first one. If you face enemies without freeze or control resistance, you can now build to guarantee Gepard's freeze, and he'll already need 50% of the Belobog 2-piece anyway. This means skilling actually has some use, unlike E0, because you have the guarantee now, and you can sometimes skill to clutch a freeze and save your team. His second is Lingering Cold. After an enemy is frozen by his skill, so no ally freezes at all, this enemy will have their speed reduced by 20% for one turn. It is a strong slow, but only benefits the desperate occasional skill, so nothing too amazing. His third Eidolon benefits his shield by around 300 shield value, so it's some okay copium. His fourth will increase all allies' effect resistance by 20%. This means he has a base of 38% effect resistance, and strong enemies will have an 81% chance of debuffing him. For the rest of his team, the chance is still 100% before any effect resistance stats. His final Eidolon makes his talent gain bonus effects. He will instantly take action and restore an extra half of his max HP. This means in a funny way that he only needs to build for talent level 8. The effect is whatever, it's not E6 worthy. So after his kit rundown, let's talk pros and cons. For pros, we have the best shielding in the game. He beats all the competition with ease. This shielding means he enables some DPS that others can't, or at least can't as well as he does. Next, his skills allow for some clutch freezes to save teammates. Next, he has innate aggro modifiers, meaning he has the highest base chance of being hit out of every unit in the game. Fire MC's taunt means she has a 100% chance of being hit, but she has to land it and use a skill point. Gepard is just built different. Finally, his technique provides a large AoE shield, unlike the others that freeze or do a single target shield, which is really nice for early waves. For cons, we have rough shield uptime in some cases. We will talk about how to keep it up permanently in most cases in the Relic section, but for any allies that get double turns from, say, Bronya, they have one less turn of shielding and could easily be chunked down by enemies with big AoE hits. If these DPS do take 2 turns, you'd hope they break the enemy's weakness so they don't get one shot the next turn. Fire MC has the benefit of shielding whenever, even if they're smaller shield than Gepard's. So any speedy allies are tricky with Gepard, but that doesn't mean you can't or shouldn't use him, and attack percent boots are always a thing. Next, his skill has a very low chance until E1, and even then, you can't afford to take the team skill points too much, so he's kind of basic attack and shield bot. Funny doesn't scale too well on Eidolons, E1 and E4 being nice ones though. So let's talk about Relics. In the early game you can go whatever really, a rainbow set is fine and you just prioritize stacking defense on his main stats and pieces. When you want to start beating content, you want to pick up the Knight of Purity Palace set. It is his best set and the only shield bonus percent in the game. It also gives him some defense percent. Without it, he loses about 500 worth of shield value. For your 2-piece, you can absolutely go Fleet of the Aegis for that stacking attack percent, but I would recommend Belobog instead. It will grant him defense percent, and even more provided you reach 50% effect hit rate, which you'll want for freezes. For main stats, your chest piece will be defense percent. For boots, always speed, we'll talk about why in a second. For planar sphere, defense percent as well, and for rope, always energy regeneration rate. For substats, prioritize defense percent, speed, and effect hit rate, as well as effect resistance. So why do we run speed and energy on Gepard? Well, with the help of Edison's Maths Club, who sheeted the differences and even made it pretty for me, here is an explanation. So first, speed. Speed gives him more turns and makes him sync his speed with his team so he doesn't fall behind. With no speed and no energy regeneration and full def main stats, his shield increases by 25%, and you know, we love shielding, that's really cool and all, but his shields will end up having a 70% uptime on himself and a 58% uptime on his team if you don't run speed or energy regeneration, meaning they will take around 5 hits and probably die. Speed also gives him extra skill point generation for the team. Now, energy regeneration rate. Energy regeneration rate will make the hits he tanks and the turn he takes produce more energy, and it will give him a rotation that allows for 100% uptime in most cases. Without it, your team gets a bit better uptime thanks to speed, but still takes a bunch of hits. Energy Rope ensures you have 100% uptime on his shield and the allies' shields. We'll discuss how he does this just after the Light Cone section. For Light Cones, his best will of course be his signature Moment of Victory. It gives him a 200% aggro modifier, bringing his chance of being hit to 76%. It will also give him the largest base defense among any Light Cone, on top of a 24% defense boost that easily turns into a 48% defense boost. Then it also gives a 24% effect hit rate on top, easing the belly bot conditions, and being exactly enough with an effect hit rate main stat piece to hit the 67% effect hit rate needs on his E1 freeze, which is a bit too coincidental. Landau's choice is his next best, the same aggro modifier as Moment of Victory, but with the self-damage reduction. It is a large damage reduction for himself, and since he will be taking tons of hits, it's perfect for his next best in slot. Day 1 of my new life is my next choice, as the all-type resistance increase gives a lot of extra power to his shielding, as taking less damage overall means his shields take less too. The rest are not optimal, but Trent can be used for fun DPS memes, and Amber is nice early game. For Gepard's rotation, you just get hit and hit back, unironically. You just spam basics, providing skill points for your whole team though. With an energy rope, you end up needing 3 basics, perfect for his 3-turn shield, and 2 enemy hits taken, which at 68 to 76% chance of being hit is easy. And remember, bosses have a lot of AoE hits too. If it's not a boss, they're not going to be tanking down your shield either way. If you think you can clutch a freeze, and remember, lots of enemies have CC and freeze resistance, you can slam a skill down and remove the need for one tanked hit. For best teammates, he enables Yanqing and Arlen like no other. Arlen wants to stay super low, so Gepard's shields give him the most safety in the game. Yanqing doesn't want to take damage, so even if he gets hit, if he's behind a Gepard shield, then he keeps his talent passive. Gepard is also iced alongside Yanqing, allowing the mono ice setup. Yanqing enjoys attack percent boots too, and won't zoom ahead of Gepard's shield uptime. Of course, Gepard enables everyone really as a solo sustain, and the only unit he has some counter synergy with is Bronya, due to her taking away turns of shielding from DPS. So for an ideal team comp, you can go the mono ice team with Gepard, Silverwolf, Pella and Yanqing. You don't need to bring Silverwolf. If you're going against ice weak enemies, you can put Tingyun instead of Silverwolf. You won't be dying and the enemies will be dying a lot. There's lots of weakness break damage too, and Yanqing will be at his maximal power output. A free-to-play team comp can be Gepard alongside any 2 DPS and any support, or even 1 DPS and 2 supports. Anyway, that's all on Gepard Landau. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. If you like this or learned something, like and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, have a Guoba day.